Hello, Quest for Thunder followers. Another beautiful day after a tumultuous night last night. We had some thunderstorms roll through here last night that were pretty severe, and we had a lot of high wind. Fortunately, there was no damage to the boat or any that I know about anyway, that I can see. Everything looks good. And so we continue working on the boat, and right now the project is the nav station, and I think we're pretty much done with the nav station. We've gotten pretty much all the painting done, and the frame built, the door built. I put several coats of primer and paint, so the door will be going back on today. I'm going to rewire the outlet at the nav station to include a USB plug as well as the outlet. Yeah, that project seems to be wrapping up. It looks like we're pretty much finished with that. We had a couple of hitches, as is always the case with the boat. Things never are necessarily what they appear to be. Same thing with this nav station. So in building out the nav station to allow more room for storage behind the bulkhead, where I'm going to be mounting instruments, I infringed a bit on the opening space for the nav table itself. It's hinged to open, so you can store what I'm assuming you can store charts or whatever, books or stuff underneath there. It's not that big, so I don't think you're going to get full-size charts under there. But anyway, and then I realized, oh, that's going to be a problem. I'm not going to be able to open that. So what I figured I'd do is I'd just resize the tabletop by cutting a portion away that will allow the door to then swing open, clearing the new build-out. Simple enough. Well, as is always the case, it's not simple. First of all, the direction that the saw needed to go into, I couldn't get it close enough to the bulkhead without doing a plunge cut, which meant I had to manipulate the saw backwards, basically, in order to cut in that close space. And then I had assumed wrongly that the tabletop, being as large as it was hinged in more than two places. I figured it was hinged in three places. Of course, I didn't check to confirm that. By the time I realized I was going to have to cut away a portion of the table, I had already installed the extension in the bulkhead, and I couldn't get the table open to confirm how it was hinged. Stupid me. And I didn't feel like taking apart the frame. So I figured, well, it's likely. Well, it turns out it's only hinged in two places, and one of the hinge locations is up underneath the extension of the bulkhead. I couldn't get to it. So when I cut away the table, cut away the top, that portion next to the bulkhead, of course, wasn't hinged, and so it's just flopping around. When I open it, it just flops around. And I can't open that tabletop enough because of the overhead. The way the cabin sole comes down, there's an overhead hangover there that I can't adjust. There's nothing I can do about it. The existing table, the way it was before I did the build out, was always hampered by that overhang anyway. But I can't get the table open wide enough to get up underneath there and take the hinges out. So I'm gonna have to figure something else out. I'll have to probably surface hinge, which is not ideal, but I guess I could use a decorative hinge. It'll look all right, I suppose. I don't know. Anyway, the problems you run into when you're trying to do this, when you're trying to retrofit something and make something better. So anyway, that's where we're at. Hopefully we'll bring this to a conclusion today, and we can move on to the next project. I think the next thing we're going to do is we're going to tackle the heads and the sink and faucet in the galley. and the heads. I have the equipment, the faucets and the sinks for the heads. I do not have sink and faucet for the galley, but that's easy to rectify. But I know that we want to get the system, the water system, the freshwater system up and running, and in order to do that, I need to reconnect all the plumbing. And I've been waiting to get all the plumbing that we wanted, and then to get the sinks that we wanted, and the drains that we wanted, and then to make some changes in the actual heads themselves, new toilets, etc., etc. So we've done most of that. I've got all the equipment. It's just now a matter of putting the new stuff in and then trimming out the heads. So I think that'll be the next project that we tackle, because we certainly want to clean out the water tank and then get it serviced and cleaned and ready to go, so we can use the fresh water on the boat. That's a big deal. So that's where we're at. Thanks for watching, and I hope you come back. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click the bell for notifications. And if you would, it would be great if you could comment and share these videos with family and friends to help us grow the channel. I have this quarter round here that I'm going to use to trim out around this. This is so these are just test pieces just to test it. But it's basically going to sit in there like that. Like that. Of course, it'll be in the edge, and then we'll have another piece that sits like this, and goes up here. So we'll have a 45-degree angle here, as best I can get it. Good. Again, boats are not. Oh, come on now. Difficult with one hand. Boats are not plumb or square. There you go. So something like that. That's going to run all the way around the whole exterior, and then I'll probably bring it down here too. Something else that's going to happen, I think, is because of the fact that this is hinged out here now and it extends out. I really didn't realize, wasn't thinking about that, and now I can't. Yeah, stupid, right? Yeah, it's a real bummer. So what I've decided to do is I've decided to go ahead and trim this out as well, like this, from the edge here. I'll do a return right here and go all the way to the end. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my saw and I'm going to cut from here straight back, and then that way this portion here will remain in place. It won't move. It'll be trimmed out. It'll stay there, and then where I saw it, it'll open. That way it'll still give me all of the desk without losing any, and I'll still be able to open it. Yeah, I didn't foresee that. I'm not an expert at this. So that was a real newbie booby right there. But anyway, it's coming along. It's coming along. It's coming along. It's just very fiddly. You can see here there's the hole. This finger hole is right here in the birch behind this. So I just need to take it out of this trim. Then I'll have a nice finger hole there to reach in there, so I'm not grabbing it on the up here on the trim. I don't like to grab the trim. And of course, as is always the case, this is a boat and it's damp, and so this piece of wood, this piece here, bowed a little on me, so I've got a bit of a bow up here. But you can't really tell when you look at it head face on, so it's not too bad. Still need to get a coat of paint on the back of it, keep it from getting any worse. So here we are. Pretty good, even with the boo-boo. Nav station build out technically complete. There's the door, I still need to work out what kind of opening mechanism I want. I think finger hole is what I'm going to go with. Finger hole that's similar to that finger hole like that right there. There will be a latch on the inside for the finger hole. There is a catch at the top that holds the door shut, plus these hinges are self-closing. Complete with new electrical over there. Got a new updated electrical. That includes USB outlets right there on the AC side. And then of course the new chart light right here. So, Cobra chart light right here. White and red chart table. Also modified the chart table, as you can see, modification running right here. This allows the chart table to open, despite the fact that I built out the back of the nav station more forward onto the chart table, which prevented it from opening before. I just need to hinge the back here on both sides, and I purchased some surface hinges right here to do that. I think those will look okay. It's not ideal, but the space below is not large enough for me to get below here. Isn't large enough for me to get in there to do the work, so I'll just have to surface hinge it. Hopefully that'll work. I'm hoping it will. But that's that. Also, while we were working on this, we also had an opportunity to work in here. So as you can see inside this this door, we've not done anything to the back. It's raw fiberglass back there, but we did put several coats of primer and a couple of coats of latex paint on it, so it looks nice and bright and white now. And it's just going to be basic storage, but that's what we're going to do. On this particular section of the salon where these cabinets are, and then across on the other side of the salon, the same sort of situation where these cabinets, I'm going to take them down and redo them. I'm thinking about taking them down to bare wood like this, and then just leaving it, leaving it natural, and put a polyurethane on it, and just have it natural and color this honey color. Not sure yet. Just depends on how hard that's going to be. With a belt sander, it seems pretty easy. So I'll just have to take the trim down and take this light down, and then do the sanding. Below, you can see this line right here, and there's some water damage from here where the chain plates leaked, and it leaked out and damaged the wood a little bit, just to finish. Anyway, below this section here, down, we're just going to rough this up so it has a tooth, and then we're going to paint it white. This section that you're looking at right here is behind the settee cushions come up, and so it would be totally behind the settee cushions. So it's really not that big a deal, but I do want to clean it up and make it nice and fresh and white. I painted in here, same thing. It's raw fiberglass, but I just coated it with some paint. I still have yet to do this little cubby. In this cubby, we're doing something a little bit different. This is still raw fiberglass, as you can see, and you can still see some of the glue that was left behind when I ripped down the old broken down vinyl with the foam backing. That was terrible. So in here, what we're going to do is we're going to use Total Boat, Total Fair right there, and we're going to fair that out so that's nice and smooth. We're going to leave the chain plates exposed. They used to be hidden by wood panels, but I like them exposed so I can inspect them and see them, and it gives a kind of a unique bowy look to the cabinet. But we're going to fair both sides, and then paint it all inside, all nice and white as well. Same thing over here on this side. We're going to do the same thing. You can see part of it is painted white already. That was a test that we were doing. I was using a rubberized type spray paint to see if I could maybe smooth that out a little bit by just spraying it and putting several coats on there, but it's way too time consuming, and it would take way too much material to get it the way I want it. So we're not going to be doing that. We're just going to use the Total Boat, Total Fair, and fair that out as well and paint that. And then inside these two cubbies, same thing as we did in this one right here. Going to just leave it raw and then just tidy it up real nice and paint it nice. Nice storage area. It's not anything more than a storage area, so it doesn't have to be, you know, showpiece or anything. And the other thing that we were doing is we have these really bad port lights. You can see that port light right there. You cannot see out of it. You can barely see a shadow. At the very top, you might be able to glance a little peek out at the very top. But yeah, that's how all the port lights in the main salon look. They're just damaged from the sun and oxidation. You know, they're plastic, so that's what happens. They're not properly cared for. And so we were doing some research, and I came across this thing on YouTube that said that you could clean port lights up pretty good if you use a metal polish, a good high quality metal polish. And you can do, so there you go. You can see out of this port light, look at there. It's not perfect. The metal polish I used was not the best. It was some old metal polish that was left over in the boat. It was very old, had some mold growing in it. So I ordered some Mother's metal polish, which is a real high quality metal polish. And we're going to go over these again. But you can see, just with what we did, how much of a difference. So this is one that we used some metal polish on and cleaned it up a little bit. And this is one where we did nothing. And there you go. It's just terrible. So over here, I have an example side-by-side comparison. Side by side, you can see, yeah, no, yeah, yeah, no, yeah. So anyway, that's what we're doing. So we're making progress. Things are coming along. I'm really happy about the way this turned out. This looks really, really good. And it's a real improvement to the nav station. So, okay, well, I'm going to get back to work.